Hello everyone, and here we have a new story. Before we get to that, I want to ask you to subscribe, like, and be sure to write comments in order to participate in the development of the community. Write how to improve my community, current topics in the stories you are interested in, and much more. I read and listen to all the comments. People write me stories by mail from different countries. There are problems with translation. I apologize for this. I will work on it and try to fix these errors. I want to thank everyone for their support and the people who wrote to me by mail, broadcast news stories. New videos on my channel are published once every 2 days at 7 p.m. Don't forget to put a bell in order not to miss new videos. And now let's go. Hello, I want to tell you my story. I met a girl and we started a relationship. At that time, she was still a student, and I had just started working. When we had the candy bouquet period, we saw each other almost every day. As soon as this period ended, we began to see each other much less often, but she came to see me every weekend. I didn't have my own place, and I lived with my parents. We called each other every day. After 6 months of our meetings, I told her that let's break up. Why? To be honest, I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but something doesn't suit me about her. We broke up. But sometimes I called her just to see how she was doing. In general, 3 months have passed, and it so happened that we resumed our relationship again. I can't say that I blew the dust off her, but I treated her very well. I always helped her, supported her financially, and gave her gifts. That is, I showed that relationships are not just entertainment for me. The format of our relations remained the same. We called each other every day, and she came to see me on weekends. When my parents went on vacation, I took her to my place for a month or two. By the way, 2 months after we restored our relationship, I introduced her to my family. In the summer, we all stand together in our country house. My family really liked her. Compared to my ex-girlfriend, she seemed like an angel to them. My girlfriend didn't talk about living together, but I bought an apartment that needed renovation. I always told her that as soon as the renovation was completed, we would live there together. We have lived in such an atmosphere for 3 years. After that, we moved into my apartment and lived for 2 more years. Then we got married, and a year later, our son was born. In general, everything was fine with us. We practically did not swear. If we swear, it was in small things, so we immediately put up. My attitude towards my wife was like this. I loved her, but I always thought she wouldn't get away from me. I was 100% sure that she loved me. That's why I didn't bother about our relationship. I was confident in myself and dominated our family. I never suspected my wife of cheating. She never gave any reason to think so. I thought I had the best wife in the world. In addition, a year before our wedding, a crisis began in our family. I was fired and I didn't work for a year. I just couldn't find a proper job. Our budget was general. That is, I gave all the money to my wife. She planned our expenses, but I could always take the money if I needed it. After my dismissal, my wife did not reproach me. She didn't tell me that I was sitting on her neck. I myself was very unhappy that I did not bring money to our family. She even offered to buy me some things. I've always given up on everything. But one day, I couldn't stand it because she drove me crazy. She said that I looked like a homeless man in an old jacket and she was ashamed to walk with me. After a while, I found a job and everything started to get better. That was the background of our relationship. A little return to my past so that everything is clear to you. When my wife was in her last year of university, she got a job at a company. One day she told me that her boss tried to grab her breasts in the elevator. She was indignant and yelled at him, and he stopped bothering her. Of course, I wanted to go and deal with this asshole, but my wife insisted that I not touch it. She didn't want any trouble. At this point, the whole story was forgotten. My wife worked for this company for 6 months and quit. Now I will continue my story further. I don't want you to get confused about the time of what is happening. Around the end of last year, I started to strain my wife. My wife was on maternity leave. She gained extra weight, but it's not critical. But so that she wouldn't relax, I started making fun of her. I wanted her to start playing sports. After a while, my wife tells me that her boss gave her a ride home. I didn't match any importance to it, but I started joking again and asked why he just gave you a ride. Don't you have a relationship with him? My wife said I was making stupid jokes and went into the shower. Now I will continue the story in the present tense. One day we had dinner at a restaurant and decided to drink wine. An hour later, we were drunk and started talking about our former couples. But I had that case in my head. I asked my wife, "Tell me honestly, did you have something?" My wife confessed to me and said she had sex with him twice. I was drunk and, like a red deer with horns, I did not make a scandal. But the next day, I couldn't find a place for myself. There was only one thing in my head, that my wife had deceived me. As a result, my wife noticed that something was happening to me. She asked, "Are you all right?" I couldn't stand it and started screaming. I asked her, "How could you do this to me?" My wife replied to me that I was crazy because yesterday I said that everything was fine and I didn't care. That day, she left home to skate. I couldn't believe what had happened. She eventually returned home, and I started asking again why she did it. She replied to me, "Do you remember you left me?" After that, we shouted at each other for a long time. In general, it is easier for me to quote her letter. "Stop thinking and analyzing. You're exaggerating too much. I had sex with him 5 years ago. Being jealous of the past is stupid. We were fine and we loved each other. Or don't you love me anymore? I made a big mistake and I regret it very much. What should I do now? Should I hang myself or something? I don't want to remember the betrayal. I don't want to analyze why I had sex with him. Maybe I was crazy about him at that moment. Why did I remind you of that moment when you left me? Because remember how you treated me. Your friend told me that the reason was that you didn't have any feelings for me. I wasn't the kind of person you wanted to have a serious relationship with. Then we reconciled, but this situation stuck in my memory for a long time. Of course, we had been living already for 2 years, but before that, you didn't ask me to get married and live together. Maybe you cheated on me too at that time. How do I know? Your financial spending on me is an indicator of care, but not confidence. I married you. The meaning of this phrase means that I'm behind a stone wall, that you are the only person with whom I want to live to old age and die. We had a wonderful baby. That's what, for me, is an indicator of loyalty. That's what my wife wrote to me. But I did not calm down and began to exert further psychological pressure on her. As it turned out, she had sex with him not twice, but 4 times. I asked my wife a question. "Did you like having sex with him?" She said no, but she liked him as a person. Later, it turned out that he immediately began to take care of my wife. She had a principle of not having sex at work. I don't believe her. At the time when he was courting my wife, I didn't notice anything, because there was an ideal in our relationship. Maybe I hadn't noticed it yet because I was confident in myself and I didn't give a damn about her. I want to tell the truth that at that time, I was not cheating on my wife. I didn't even think about it. After our conversation, I suggested that my wife take a lie detector test, because she told me one thing and after a while something completely different. She agreed and allegedly told the truth. The first time she had sex with him was after she quit. The sex was in the car. She took his baton in her mouth. After that, she got cancer by pushing the front seats forward. After that, they had sex 2 more times. I won't go into details, because YouTube can block this video. But take my word for it, it was very unpleasant to listen to. In general, after the 3rd time they broke up, according to her because she loved me. But a year later they met for the 4th time. According to her, the 4th time she met with him was because she still had feelings for him. After the 4th meeting, she broke up with him and we began to live together. As it turned out, my wife's mom knew about it because she told her mother that she had feelings for him. My wife said that if her boss had been younger, she would have left me for him. He was 40 years old at the time and my wife was 23 years old. He has 2 marriages and has children. That's the story, friends. I still have a strong sentiment in my soul. Maybe she stayed with me because her boss didn't offer her a serious relationship. I do not know what is going on in her head. She apologized, but under my pressure. But at the same time, she says she doesn't feel particularly guilty, because at that time we had a civil marriage. She said it didn't matter to her. But after we got married and officially legalized our marriage, everything became serious. What I heard kills and shocks me. Maybe I don't understand something. Maybe I'm living in the wrong world. Please write your opinion on this. I will definitely read it. Maybe I'm wrong about something. In general, at the moment I live alone and we are divorced. I couldn't live with that truth. I help my son financially and spend time with him on weekends. My wife does not give up trying to return our relationship. but I can't forgive her for cheating. So I made a conclusion and decided I'm going to build a new life. If you like the story, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos. Now let's move on to the opinion of the author of the channel. The opinion of the author of the channel. According to tradition, I want to wish our hero strength and patience. I do not know how our community will react to this situation, but I will say that my opinion coincides with yours. I can say for sure that marriage doesn't matter. She's either your girlfriend or your wife. It doesn't matter. If you decide to be together, you morally have no right to cheat on each other. Then why build a relationship at all? For me, this is wild and stupid because we are not married and we do not have a marriage document. So we can cheat on each other. If you're just friends or acquaintances, then please. But your relationship has been going on for quite a long time. God, girls are really stupid creatures. If you think this is normal, please write your opinion. I'm just really interested. So you made the right decision to start a new life. Don't blame yourself in any way. No matter what your wife tells you, it does not justify her action. Good luck to everyone. If you have watched to the end, I want to say thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey of love, betrayal, and redemption. I appreciate your support and encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this story. Your participation and feedback are invaluable for shaping our content and promoting mutual understanding and community growth. Until we meet again.